It's time for Crowley's Ridge College Lady Pioneer Volleyball. Coach Wynn and her Lady Pioneers host the visiting Freed-Hardeman Lady Lions, looking to pick up their first home win of the season. Now let's send it down to the Carter Activity Center with the voice of the Pioneers, Dustin Seymour.
Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and we welcome you to the Carter Activity Center. It is a busy day here at the Ridge. Currently outside, it is a high school cross-country track meet, but inside things are heated up for Crowley's Ridge College Lady Pioneers Volleyball. Today I am Dustin Seymour. Well, every day I'm Dustin Seymour, but today too. And I am joined by my lovely wife, Olivia Seymour. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Today, the Lady Pioneers play host to the Lady Lions of Freed-Hardeman University. A lot of ties to FHU here at Crowley's Ridge. Olivia and I both attended Freed-Hardeman. I graduated from the school in Henderson, and Olivia now a student here at Crowley's Ridge, but we aren't the only FHU grads. Head coach for the Lady Pioneers is head coach Carissa Wynn, and so today is one of those fun matchups where the student plays the teacher, in which case Carissa Wynn played 4 years under the Lady Lion head coach Todd Humphrey. Coach Humphrey in his 21st season at the helm of the Lady Lions. I spoke to him a little bit before the match, and we joked that it's come to that point where he has been coaching at Freed-Hardeman longer than, I think he had one player who was alive, but most of his players had not been alive as long as he has been at Freed-Hardeman. His Lady Lions are now 5-0, but the Lady Pioneers of Crowley's Ridge College picked up their first win of the season, had a doubleheader last weekend at Lincoln Christian and won in 5 sets in the opening game and then dropped 3 sets in the second game. So, Olivia, almost double headers, especially after going 5 sets in the first game. How are you? What does it take to dig down and get some energy in order to play that second match?
It takes a lot of mental toughness. You have to be willing to give your all to the first game. You can't hold anything back, and especially when it goes to 5 sets, it's really draining and really hard to do that and then get back up and go. But you just have to be prepared. You have to be mentally strong, and you just have to take that quick break you get, drink some water, and make sure you're ready to go for the next game.
Especially after picking up that first win. I mean, it was a 0-6 start to the season. How good would it have felt? How good did it feel to pick up that first win?
Oh, it's amazing. You know, you've been working so hard all of preseason, all of the season so far, and you know, when you're doing good things and still not seeing the results, it's very hard to keep your head up and keep pushing. But the adrenaline you get from that win, from those long rallies where you get the point back, and when you finally get that win after so long, it's so refreshing and energizing and helps you pick up and keep going for the next games.
Talking to Coach Wynn, she just said, I asked how it felt to get that first win, and she just said it's amazing with about 14 different exclamation points. But they are here hosting the Lady Lions of Freed-Hardeman, and Olivia was saying that Crowley's Ridge has been playing well to start this season, and in fact so well that the first 4 Players of the Week for the Association of Independent Institutions, or the AII, which is a non-conference conference, if you want to call it that. We're technically independent. However, there is an association, as you can tell from the name, of independent schools kind of playing each other and have their own Players of the Week. All 4 AII Players of the Week have worn green and white for the Lady Pioneers. Started 4 weeks ago with Caitlin Perkins being named as the inaugural. Following that was Olivia Deckelman. Last week it was Max Smart, and this week it's another freshman. Emmy Elms picked up the AII Player of the Week. How have these freshmen been looking after 2 consecutive weeks of Players of the Week? How is this freshman class playing?
This is an exceptional freshman class. You know, every year you're wondering what the new girls are going to bring and how the dynamic is going to work. And this is one of the best freshman classes I've seen in a while. They all have strengths. They all come in working hard. And there's so many of them that are talented. So it's easy for them to acclimate and easy for the Pioneers to be doing so well because the freshmen bring so much to the table.
In her second season at the helm of the Lady Pioneers, head coach Carissa Wynn, 1-7 on the year. Lady Pioneers are ranked 27th in digs with 551, 30th in the nation in digs per set at 17.8. Most of those by the career record holder in Caitlin Perkins. She has had no Lady Pioneer has dug out more attacks than Caitlin Perkins this season. She has 157 leading the team. She is 31st in the nation. She also averages just above 5 digs per set. That is good enough for 35th in the nation. How good has Caitlin's play been over the 3 years that you've been here?
Oh, she's amazing. I love KP. Her work ethic is unmatched. She's always pushing herself and everyone around her. And she's just so fun to watch. She's so good, so it's easy to cheer for her. And you see how much she cares. You see how much she's working. You know, she follows the ball. She talks to every player. And she's there to get those digs. And it's easy to rely on her. And she's fun to play with.
Lady Pioneers 1-7 going up against the 5-0 Freed-Hardeman University Lady Lions. We're going to take a timeout. We're about 5 minutes away from the opening serve. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we will introduce the Lady Lions and get your lineups set. And so this is Crowley's Ridge College Lady Pioneer Volleyball on the Pioneer Digital Network.
If you love them enough to barely sleep, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Never completely ready to adopt a teen.
For late nights writing English papers.
For your teen's music taste.
For dinners, where they talk more on their phone than with you.
For the first time, they call you mom.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen, and you can't imagine the reward.
To learn more about adopting a teen, visit adoptuskids.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is Hannah Powell. This is Caitlin Stapleton. You're listening to Crowley's Ridge Volleyball on the Pioneer Digital Network.
And welcome back inside the Carter Activity Center. I'm Dustin Seymour, joined by Olivia Seymour. It is heating up here, getting ready for Crowley's Ridge College Lady Pioneer Volleyball. As we look across the way at Coach Todd Humphrey's Lady Lions, they are ranked in the top 50 in the nation in 5 different categories in averages. I was talking to Olivia earlier before the broadcast about how it's hard to gauge based simply on totals. Crowley's Ridge has played 8 matches thus far. Freed-Hardeman has played 5. And so it's difficult to look at a stat total, so it's better to look at those averages. The 5 that Freed-Hardeman are ranked in are averages. They are averaging 12.2 assists per set. That is 11th best in the nation. They are also 11th best in hitting percentage, 24.4% from the attack line. And what does that mean, Olivia, to be 24% in hitting percentage?
That's a big deal. You know, hitting percentage, it varies team to team, but you can tell that they are a strong hitting team. That's a great average. And when you watch them play, it's easy to see how they have that average. They're very strong. They've got a lot of great hitters. And so that is something that the Pioneers will need to be aware of when they're blocking and when they're digging, because the Lions are so strong, especially in the front row.
On the other side, Lady Pioneers at 7.4% attacking. Freed-Hardeman also averages 2.1 service aces per set. That's 17th best in the nation. Averaging 13.1 kills per set. That's 21st in the nation. And just shy of 2 blocks per set. That's 36th in the nation. As you look at the Freed-Hardeman roster, they also have 5 players in the top 50 in many categories. Casey Donegan averages 13 kills per set. Is that a high number?
That's a very high number. Most of the time it's less than that. And per set, that's not per game, not per match, that's per set. So she's definitely producing, and she's definitely someone to look out for.
As Casey Donegan on her own averages 13 kills per set, that is more than Crowley's Ridge as a team hits per set. They average 8.8 kills per set. Ashlyn Clift is a 5'9" sophomore out of Jackson, Tennessee. She is 21st in the nation with a 32.6% hit mark. Ivy Robinson, 34th in the nation with about half a service ace a game, and so hard to look at that, but Ivy Robinson, several service aces. Emma Self, 43rd in the nation with, that's who I just said. Riley Fulton, 48th in the nation with 4.9 digs per set. Freed Hardeman, again, 5-0. Crowley's Ridge, 1-7, led by their 2 seniors, Hannah Powell and Caitlin Stebleton. And again, on the individual mark, Caitlin Perkins, 31st in the nation and 35th in digs per set, respectively. We are about to head out to the lineup areas, have our prayer and our national anthem, and when we come back, we will have our starting rotations. And so this is Crowley's Ridge College Lady Pioneer Volleyball on the Pioneer Digital Network.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the campus of Crowley's Ridge College. Welcome to the Ridge. Tonight's college volleyball matchup features the visiting Lions of Freed Hardeman University and your Crowley's Ridge College Lady Pioneers. Before we begin this evening, we ask that you please stand with your caps for our prayer and then remain safe in the light of our national anthem. Let's pray. Father, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for everything that you've done for us. Right now, we ask you to bless this game. Let no one be injured, let everyone play to the best of their ability. Let everyone have good sports. At the end of this game, we ask you to give everyone safe travel home. All this we ask in your son's name. Amen.
As we get set for the opening serve here between Crowley's Ridge College and the Lady Pioneers of Lady Lions of Freed Hardeman University. It's difficult for me to do because I cut my teeth on radio broadcasting as a student at Freed Hardeman, and so I am still used to saying Lady Lions, but I'll do my best not to do so today. But as we look at the starting rotation, first for the Crowley's Ridge College Lady Pioneers, starting will be Caitlin Stebleton, a 5'7" senior out of Crosby, Texas. She is sitting at 95 assists this season and 6 kills in 3 matches played. We'll also have Olivia Deckelman, the 5'11 junior from Harrisburg, Arkansas. She has 83 kills on the season. She leads the team in that category. We'll also see Hannah Halverson, a 5'8 freshman from right here in Paragould at Greene County Tech High School. We also have on the floor Sarah Grace Duncan, a 5'11 sophomore from Milan, Tennessee. The former Lady Bulldog has 38 kills and 14 blocks to lead the team. Well, tied for the lead with that. We'll also have Heather Conaway, a 5'6 freshman from Scott City, Missouri. And then the reigning AII Player of the Week, Emmy Elms, the 5'11 freshman from Crowley's Ridge Academy. And then checking in as soon as the game will start is the libero, Caitlin Perkins, a 5'2 junior out of Willow Springs, Missouri, 157 digs to start the season. On the left side of the court, the Lady Lions of Freed-Hardeman University, led by Todd Humphreys, led by head coach Todd Humphrey. We'll see Shay Dean, a 6'1 senior from Jackson, Tennessee, has 18 kills, 5 digs, and 4 blocks. Also is Emma Self, a 5'9 senior, 105 assists for the Murfreesboro, Tennessee setter. Also on the floor, Katie Collier, a 6' even senior with from Kingston Spring, Tennessee. Emma Campbell, a 5'4 junior with 17 digs out of Fayetteville, Tennessee. And then the strong hitter, Casey Donegan, a 5'9 sophomore from Dixon, Tennessee. She has 63 kills and 48 digs to start the season, does the sophomore. Crowley's Ridge College, led by head coach Carissa Wynn in her second season. She is assisted by CRC alumna Tori Harden. So looking at the stat lines, Olivia, what does Crowley's Ridge need to do in order to avenge that earlier loss to Freed-Hardeman 3-0?
I think they need to be careful when they're blocking up on the front row. They need to get set early so that the hitters can't use them to get points, hitting it off of them, tooling it on the block. And they need to be wary in serve receive. Freed-Hardeman is a strong serving team. And again, the passers just need to get set early on defense and be ready to go. If you can shut down the hitters, you can do a lot of damage to Freed-Hardeman.
As you can see across the way, the head coaches, the former player for Freed-Hardeman, coaching against her former coach, having a bit of a sly wave at one another. As times are different, at least for the greeting one another, the teams. Checking in now, Riley Fulton, a 5'9 senior, is the libero for the Lady Lions. It is different. The teams don't meet at the center net and high-five to start the game and to end the game, and probably the most visible difference is the teams will not switch sides between sets, and we've talked about how, if you win a set, that's good. You get that momentum on that side of the set, but if you lose a set, I don't want to play on this side of the floor anymore, so I want to go to the other side of the net, but you're on both sides. Freed-Hardeman in away black uniforms, black jerseys, black shorts with white stripe down the side, white numerals. The libero with black shorts and an anthracite jersey. Crowley's Ridge in their home greens with black shorts, white piping. Caitlin Stapleton will start things off. That goes over the net, grazes the top. Here is Self with the set. She sets Donegan, and that is blocked by Sarah Grace Duncan and Olivia Deckelman.
That's a wonderful way to start the game. They got there, they got ready, and that's exactly what they need to keep doing this game.
So Stapleton will get back to serve once more. She sends it across. That's taken by Dean. And then the set by Self, and she'll get that just under the reach of Caitlin Perkins. So that will send Riley Fulton to the service line. The Franklin, Tennessee native skies it across. Stapleton will set Deckelman. Deckelman sends it far. That's taken by Campbell. The set now goes to Donegan. Donegan has her shot, or her attack blocked, but that goes out of play, so it is Freed-Hardeman point. So Fulton, the senior, will serve it into the net, and so we're all knotted up at 2 points each. Hannah Powell will now check in. And she will head back to the service line. Powell skies it and shoots it. That shot over. Caitlin Perkins with the dig. Now back with the attack. That is taken up. And then the set there by Dean. And we will have point to Freed Hardeman off of the double touch.
Now serving for Freed Hardeman, number 14, Allie Humphrey.
Allie Humphrey gets the serve. That will go back to Fulton. The attack goes down. Here is the set to Deckelman. That goes down. A good diving stop by Campbell. The attack goes over, and that is a Freed Hardeman point, another double contact. It is a little difficult to hear the whistle, as if any of you have been watching college football as well. Because of the coronavirus, the referees in several sports are trying not to spread that air contamination, and so some referees will have that normal whistle, but some have an electronic, and it's like the starting gun. It's one of those things you're just used to a sound of a whistle, and this is a different sound.
Yeah, I noticed that. This is the first game that we've seen both refs with an electronic whistle, and to me it's not as loud. It's harder to hear, so you may see some more playing past the whistle for this kind of whistle, but it is a very different sound, and it'll take a little getting used to.
And a rare dig error there reception error from Caitlin Perkins, and that gives the point to the Freed Hardeman Lady Lions, 5-3, as Bryce Morris, a 5'4" sophomore from Henderson, Tennessee. Here is Perkins, gets the dig, Stebleton recovers, and a communication error from the back row, and that lets it fall to the hardwood.
Yeah, those are those things you just have to be careful of. Those are kind of easy to make, and you just really have to talk. If you expect someone to be behind you, make sure you ask to see if they are, so that doesn't happen.
The attack from Morris goes across. Here, Stebleton. She back sets Deckelman. Deckelman tips it across. That's taken by Fulton. The attack here coming from Clift. And sending over, and that is a kill for the Lady Pioneers.
Now serving number 4, Olivia.
So it is now 6-4 in favor of the guests. Deckelman will serve. That goes across. The set here coming from Humphrey. The attack by Walker. Here is another block by the Lady Lions.
Now serving number 15, Annalise Jackson.
So Annalise Jackson. Annalise Jackson, a 5'11" freshman from Pegram, Tennessee. Ensuring we have all of our substitutions where they need to be. The attack goes across by Jackson, and that is a reception error by the Lady Pioneers.
That was a good serve, and that just takes calling it early, and especially in between players, it's harder to make sure you're getting that pass.
And that serve goes into the net.
Now serving number 6, Hannah Halverson.
Heather Conaway will re-enter the contest. Hannah Halverson with the serve. She skies it across. A good serve there that is taken by Morris. The attack goes to Halverson. Here is Stebleton. She sets back to Elms, and Elms smashes it down. And that is a kill for the Lady Pioneers.
That was a beautiful kill by Emmy Elms.
Elms with a former teammate in Maddie Harden. Both freshmen from Crowley's Ridge Academy. And that service goes out of play. So checking back in is Shay Dean.
Now serving for Freed Hardeman, number 6, Emma Self.
Emma Self will return to the service line. Murfreesboro senior serves it. Here's Stebleton, sets Elms, and Elms with a kill.
Number 9, Emmy
Tammy Elms putting that AII Player of the Week on notice. She wants to get it twice in a row. 9 serving 7, or 7 serving 9 rather. Self will set to Walker, and Walker will get the kill after the block goes out of play.
That was very smart for the setter. When the setter gets pulled in toward the middle of the court, it's smart to set it back to the opposite side of where you're headed so the block gets caught off guard.
And McCampbell will serve. Stebleton tips it over the net off of a spin. Here's Duncan. The attack there or the overpass there just goes under the net, and it's point Lady Pioneers. It is 10-8 as Caitlin Stebleton will head back. And she serves. That's taken by Fulton. The attack goes there. It grazes the net. Here's Deckelman to Perkins. Perkins sends it across. Here is Fulton. Fulton sets across to Dean. And that is going to be just in play. Lady Pioneers kind of backing off and showing the out-of-play symbol. But the Lion referee indicating it was in play. Fulton serves. Here's Deckelman from Stebleton. The attack from Self. Well, the set from Self goes to Donegan, and Donegan records another kill. It is 12-8 in favor of the guests. 5'9" senior will serve across. Stebleton will set back to Conaway. Conaway smashes it, but it's a little too much mustard. That goes out of play. Fulton prepares the next serve. Stebleton now takes it, sets to Duncan. Overpass goes right over the net, but Freed Hardeman, Crowley's Ridge, was not prepared for it. However, the Lady Lions trying to get back to that pass goes into the net. It's point CRC.
The Pioneers got lucky on that one. When you're on the net, you have to be prepared for that. You have to be ready to get that. And it just worked out for them this time.
13-9. Beautiful dig there from Caitlin Stebleton. But then 2 Lady Pioneers try to get the dig, but across the way, because 2 tried to get the dig, Annalise Jackson was able to find an open hole on the floor, and it is 14-9.
Now serving number 14, Allie Humphrey.
Allie Humphrey, a 5'6" sophomore. If you're noting, boy, she has the same last name as the head coach. That is because she is the daughter of head coach Todd Humphrey. That is a very athletic family, and just about every Humphrey played at Freed Hardeman at some point. In fact, his graduate assistant is one of his daughters, and his wife is the head coach at Chester County High School. So a big funnel there, a Humphrey family in Henderson.
Boy, Pioneer.
The attack just out of play. So Caitlin Perkins behind 3, 14-11 in favor of Freed Hardeman. Here's Humphrey. She sets to Clift, and Clift finds a hole in front of Hannah Powell. (15-11), Lady Lions with the serve and the lead. Bryce Morris, 5'4" sophomore out of Henderson. She serves across. There is Perkins. Perkins gets a bit of an overpass, and that is sent right back where it came from by Annalise Jackson. 16 serving 11. Bryce Morris will run up. We'll send it across. That's taken by Halverson. Here's Stebleton. Will set Deckelman. Deckelman sends it across. Humphrey will set back, and she finds Clift, and Clift sends it too hard. 16-12. Crowley's Ridge College not going away quietly. Deckelman serves it over. That is right on the side of the net, and it falls in favor of Crowley's Ridge, 16-13. So Olivia Deckelman smacks it with the left hand. Humphrey sets across and finds Walker. And Crowley's Ridge in the net this time.
Net violation, point line.
That's several net violations here to start this game. Is that just jitters on both teams?
Typically, if you've got a little too much adrenaline, or sometimes if you're pushing really hard to be there for the block, you can just overcompensate and get stuck. Sometimes your hair happens to hit it, so it just depends. But most of the time, it's just being a little overzealous.
Serve goes into the net. Crowley's Ridge College back within 3, 17-14. Hannah Halverson. Her toss to prepare to serve nearly grazes the ceiling. This time the dig does graze the ceiling, but that is in play, and here is the attack, and that goes just off, and that is out of play. It was on the left side of that antenna. Crowley's Ridge knew it. 15-17, the deficit. The attack by Halverson goes. That's taken by Riley. Fulton, and then the attack goes down to the floor. And Coach Humphrey not liking what he sees and takes 2 steps out to the court, telling them to clean it up as the Lady Pioneers now only down 1.
Yeah, this hasn't been a very pretty game. Some games are a little rougher than others, and both coaches are wanting their teams to clean it up and get a little more under control.
Block there coming from Conaway. Here is Deckelman. Elms with a huge kill, and she ties things up 17-17.
Emmy Elms has seen a lot of success running slides from the right side, especially when there's not a hitter front row on that side. People aren't quite prepared for it, and she hits with such force that she can get through the block.
That is Elms' 3rd kill of the set. And here at the side, here just goes out of play. And that is out on touch. So breaking a streak there. Freed Hardeman now takes a 1-point lead.
Now serving for Freed Hardeman, number 6, Emma Sell.
And here's Elms, and Elms getting the attack, and her 4th kill. The attack across, the dig by Elms. Here is Fulton. The attack goes to Self, and that goes in the net. Freed Hardeman gets a deficit. Crowley's Ridge gets their first timeout, gets their first lead, and that's going to have Todd Humphrey running out, calling for time. Freed Hardeman trailing the Lady Pioneers. Lady Pioneers up 19-18. We'll take a timeout with it as well. This is Crowley's Ridge College Lady Pioneer Volleyball on the Pioneer Digital Network.
Hi, it's Olivia Munn with my shelter pets, Frankie and Chance. Say hi, guys. When I adopted them, I discovered that they both have incredible personalities. Chance's sole purpose in life is to love and to be loved. Frankie is a little bit of a scoundrel and always entertaining. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the Humane Society of the United States, and Maddie's Fund.
First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. 1, okay, cool guy. 2, 3 times. Next, oh, I put it in reverse. Meep, meep, meep. Then I take it up and down, up and down. And that, kiddos, is called the forklift.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now that's dancing. Sure beats flossing.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This is Emmy Elms. You're listening to Crowley's Ridge Volleyball on the Pioneer Digital Network.
Freed Hardeman coming out of the timeout strong, knotting up the game at 19 each, which has Emma Campbell serving. That's taken by Deckelman. Here's Stebleton. Stebleton sets to Duncan, and we have a referee calling the whistle. And that's going to be in the net. He called, he forgot to show which point was first. He was showing that somebody was in the net, and that is another net violation by the Lady Lions, giving the Lady Pioneers a 2019 lead. Stebleton with the serve, and that grazes outside the line. About 2 inches off of the back line. And we're knotted up at 20-20. Riley Fulton, the libero, will serve once more. Sends it over to Halverson. Stebleton sets to Deckelman. Deckelman sends it over. Fulton with the dig. Jackson with the set. Back to Fulton, who bumps it across. And Stebleton with the back set, but Olivia Deckelman was cutting inside. And so Lady Pioneers trying to get too much going.
Yeah, sometimes that's just a miscommunication between the setter and the hitter. They call their plays early, and sometimes the hitter thinks they're running one play and the setter thinks they're running a different one.
And this time, Crowley's Ridge gets whistled with a net violation, and this time Crowley's Ridge wants to take the timeout. Head coach Carissa Wynn wants to talk things over, try and clean that up after a net violation. Freed Hardeman with a 22-20 lead. This is Crowley's Ridge College Lady Pioneer Volleyball on the Pioneer Digital Network.
If a natural disaster comes knocking, how prepared is your family? You can't just close the door on earthquakes, floods, or hurricanes and hope they go away. That's why it's important to make a plan now. Ready.gov/plan has the tools and tips you need to prepare your family for an emergency. So if disaster shows up at your doorstep, you'll be ready. Visit ready.gov/plan and make a plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
My mother was very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign and she wasn't even really sure where she was at.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Coming out of the timeout, Freed Hardeman will have service. Fulton serves across. Halverson takes it. Here's Stebleton. She sets to Conaway. Conaway sends it across, taken by Dean, and here's the attack by Donegan, and that goes out on the other side of the antenna, and it is a Crowley's Ridge point, 22-21.
Now it's up for Crowley's Ridge number 1, Hannah Powell.
Hannah Powell goes to the back to serve. (22-21) in favor of the guests. Here's Donegan. Donegan to Dean, and that is blocked by Hannah Halverson. 22 all. Powell serves it again. Going across, the set goes to self, and the attack by Donegan is out. Crowley's Ridge, 23-22, 2 points away. Well, 1 point away from set point. Powell skies it across. Set there from self. That goes to Stebleton, and Stebleton just kind of in the right place at the right time, getting the set. And that's a net violation. No, they're going to call forward contact. That's one of those where positioning is important. Stebleton was just right where it was coming.
It's true.
We're tied at 23 rather. Powell. Here is Halverson. Halverson finds 2 diving Lady Lions, but they do keep it in play. Here is the dig from Perkins going back to Deckelman. Deckelman gets it down, and it is set point. Crowley's Ridge.
Now serving the libero number 5, Caitlin Perkins. Set point, Crowley's Ridge.
Caitlin Perkins will head to the line. She serves across. Here's taken by Humphrey. Humphrey to Dean, and that is out. Crowley's Ridge College takes the opening set, 25-23. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll get you ready for set number 2 after Crowley's Ridge College takes the opener, 25-23. This is Crowley's Ridge College Lady Pioneer Volleyball on the Pioneer Digital Network.
CDC is working to help keep you and your community safe from the threat of a novel or new coronavirus. There are steps you can take now to get ready if an outbreak occurs in your community. Make a household plan. Learn how to prepare and to take quick action if someone gets sick. Older adults and people with chronic medical conditions are at greater risk. Take extra steps to protect them. Think about what you will do if there are changes to your work schedule. And remember to always practice good health habits, such as frequently washing hands with soap and water, staying home when sick, and covering coughs and sneezes. For more information, visit cdc.gov. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is working to help keep you and your community safe from the threat of novel or new coronavirus. Take the following everyday steps to help avoid the spread of all respiratory viruses. Wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Cover your cough or sneeze with a tissue. Throw the tissue away and then wash your hands. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects or surfaces, such as remote controls and doorknobs. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. And stay home if you are sick. Call your healthcare provider if you develop fever, cough, or difficulty breathing. For more tips, visit cdc.gov.
This is Coach Wynn. You're listening to Crowley's Ridge Volleyball on Pioneer Digital Network.
Well, welcome back to the Carter Activity Center. Crowley's Ridge College taking the opening set 25-23. As we look at some of the statistics there, Crowley's Ridge College was led on the attack by Emmy Elms with 4 kills. The team as a total had 9. As a team, Crowley's Ridge hit 10.7%, so a really clean set for Crowley's Ridge College. On the other side, Freed Hardeman led offensively by Claire Walker's 4 kills, 10 kills for as a team, and 6.1%. So with Crowley's Ridge getting that first win, how good is it? You know, a team that's 5-0, and you're taking on that team. How important is it to get that opening set win?
That's a big deal. You know, you have to come out and take advantage of anything that they give you, any mistakes, any way you can push them and keep them out of system. And it really does energize you, especially when it's such a good team like Freed Hardeman. It's a big deal to take that first set, and you just have to run with it and push and keep trying to get every set until you win.
Everybody getting set. The referees checking each player's rotation, ensuring everybody's where they're supposed to be. On for Crowley's Ridge will be Hannah Halverson, Heather Conaway, Sarah Grace Duncan, Caitlin Stebleton, Olivia Deckelman, and technically Emmy Elms is on the floor, but she has been swapped out for the libero, Caitlin Perkins. For Freed Hardeman, it will be Dean, Self, Jackson, Collier, Walker, and Donegan. Emma Self will have service. Serving left to right. She serves over. Here is Deckelman. The attack goes to Crowley's Ridge. There is Self. The set there. Good dig from Halverson. That goes back to Perkins. Perkins tries to get the attack, but that goes into the net. Emma Self will serve across. There is a jumping dig from Halverson. And then the attack hits the ceiling. That remains in play. A good job there by Riley Fulton to keep that in her sights. Stebleton sets Deckelman. Deckelman hits it just outside of the line. Good idea there from Olivia Deckelman, but just misses outside the line. So Freed Hardeman takes a 2-0 lead to start the second set. Deckelman goes to her right. There's Conaway. Goes back to Crowley's Ridge after the block by Freed Hardeman. The attack there from Donegan, and that hits the floor. Crowley's Ridge getting the point. Sarah Grace Duncan gets credited.
Now set for the Pioneers, #1, Hannah Powell.
Hannah Powell returns to the service line. Skying it across. That's taken by Freed Hardeman's Donegan. The attack coming from Dean. And that is Crowley's Ridge College point. Just a little too much mustard on the attack. We're all knotted up, 2 each. Grazes the net, does the serve. Sending it across. Good dig there from Powell. Sending it back to Deckelman. Dig there, gets a set to Self. Huge attack coming there from Katie Collier, and the 6-foot-even senior sends it to the timber. It's a 3-2 Freed Hardeman lead. Emma Campbell, the junior, will serve. Stebleton to Perkins. Across the net, a good set there from Self. And the kill there goes to Katie Collier.
That was a great job by the setter. A lot of balls can be lost on the net. It's very hard to get up there and get it out, but a really good setter can get up there and pull it out of the net and get a kill from it.
Sending it across. Sarah Grace Duncan, good communication there to make sure she gets it. Donegan splits the defenders. Donegan records her second kill of the match. 5-3 in favor of Freed Hardeman. Caitlin Stebleton sets to her left. And there's a kill there from Hannah Halverson.
Now serving the libero number 5.
Libero, Caitlin Perkins. Airs it over. That goes, and that is Crowley's Ridge point. Freed Hardeman just kind of standing at the net and looking and mouth agape, thinking that that was in play. Line judge and the referee agree it was out. 5-4. Attack there from Donegan. Blocked by Crowley's Ridge, but it goes out of play. 6-4. Here's Stebleton. She bumps it back to Deckelman. Dig there from Self. Goes back to another bump set by Fulton. The attack by Donegan. Halverson dug out by Fulton. Sent back. Here's Donegan. And Donegan with a good attack there. Stebleton is able to keep it up off the ground, but it goes right into the shins of Hannah Halverson. Not able to get it up and out. 7-4. Freed Hardeman leads. And that service goes out of bounds.
Now serving number 4, Olivia Deckelman.
Olivia Deckelman serves it in the net.
Point 5.
After getting a kill and having the serve go into the net, is that any kind of getting the wind out of the sails?
It does. It depends on how the game's been going, but definitely when you have that momentum and you're like, yes, now we can push points, and then it goes in the net, it does kind of make you, sigh, but then you have to have the mental fortitude to reset and commit to the next ball.
Emmy Elms gets her 5th kill of the night. Crowley's Ridge cutting into the lead, 8-6 now. Halverson tosses, serves. Dug up by Campbell. The attack by Donegan goes right into the net. Crowley's Ridge back to within 1. Hannah Halverson and her Lady Pioneers trailing by 1. Here's Humphrey setting to her left. That goes to Cliff. The attack there from Perkins keeps it in play, the dig rather. Perkins bump sets to Deckelman. Deckelman sends it over the net. Humphrey takes it. Fulton bump sets to her left to Donegan. Donegan gets it in the net. Good play by Crowley's Ridge to keep it up and in play. However, just too much from the original attack. Makes it 9-7.
Now serving number 11, Bryce Morris.
Which sends the 5-4 Bryce Morris back to serve. Skying across, here's Halverson to Stebleton. And Conaway attacks it into the net.
4 contact, point 5.
Back serving is Morris again. Stebleton sets to Conaway. Fulton with a dig to Humphrey. Sends it over to Walker, and Walker finds a hole between Perkins and Halverson.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was going to say that was a great job. When you see those weaknesses, when stuff isn't quite closed, and you can take advantage of the holes on the court, that's an easy way to get points.
11-7, and that breaks a 4-0 run after the service goes into the net. So Emmy Elms will now serve. Humphrey sets it behind herself to Dean. Stebbleton sets to Conaway, who has to send it over. Humphrey beautifully set to Ashlyn Clift, who makes no mistake on the other side. 12 serving 8. And Elise Jackson, the freshman from Pegram, Tennessee. Overpass there leads to an attack by Sarah Grace Duncan. Cuts into the lead. It is now 12-9.
Sarah Grace has done a really good job since she's gotten to CRC, developing her net play, getting better all the time, and she's so eager to learn, and you can really see the fruits of her labor getting those blocks and kills on the net.
Crowley's Ridge cutting into the deficit even more after the blocking error goes out of bounds. 12-10. Stebbleton will serve just over the top of the net. And that goes just over the net and falling down after the block attempt. 13-10. Point Lady Lions. Emma Self, the 5'9" senior out of Murfreesboro, will serve. Here is Deckelman, goes back. And Perkins will send it over for a free ball. Looking to the left is Walker. And way overpassed, even shocking herself, Caitlin Stebbleton. Just kind of, as soon as it went off her hands, you saw her hand go to her mouth of, did I really just do that?
Yeah, some digs you just react. You just do the first thing that your body does, and sometimes it surprises even you.
Stebbleton sets to Conaway. Fulton, beautiful jumping set. Stebbleton to Deckelman. Deckelman off the top of the net. And that is Crowley's Ridge point. How much does it affect your defense when those attacks grace the top of the net?
Oh, it impacts it a lot. You're used to what they've been doing, so you're set in a certain area, especially if they're hitting hard. And when the net takes the spin and the force off of it, you can get caught on your heels and it goes short. And it's really hard to get there in time because you're so ready for something much deeper.
The referee on the stand overruling the call on the floor. And makes it a Crowley's Ridge, rather a Freed Hardeman point. Ball in. Service there from Campbell. Attack by Deckelman, and that goes out of bounds.
Ball out. Point Lions.
5-point lead for Freed Hardeman, 16-11. Campbell, her serve dug out by Perkins. Perkins will free ball it across. Here is Self. Self will set. And that goes to Collier. And Collier records the kill. And that's going to send Crowley's Ridge into a timeout. Now trailing by 6. It is 17-11. Freed Hardeman in the lead. This is Crowley's Ridge College Lady Pioneer Volleyball on the Pioneer Digital Network.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council. This is Caitlin Perkins, and you're listening to Crowley's Ridge Volleyball on the Pioneer Digital Network.
Freed Hardeman coming out of the Crowley's Ridge timeout with a kill. Emma Campbell serving, finds Caitlin Perkins. Here's Stebleton setting to her left, and that finds Halverson, and Halverson mistimes her attack. 19-11. Crowley's Ridge desperately wanting to side out here. Fulton looking to her right to Dean. Perkins will set Deckelman. And that's going to be a Crowley's Ridge point as Freed Hardeman once more in the net. And Crowley's Ridge wanting to side out, and they'll take it any way they can get it.
Dead violation.
19-12.
Now serving number 5, Caitlin Perkins.
Caitlin Perkins prepares to serve. She's takes one step towards the line, and she'll get the service ace. I think we've mentioned it before, but what difference does it make for the back row between a serve that's just kind of a step forward or one of those run and jump serves? Or is there a difference?
There is a difference. It affects how the ball moves. It can affect topspin, how deep or short it is, and jump serves typically have more power, so they're harder to pass.
So that overpass there from Freed Hardeman leads to a big kill from Olivia Deckelman, 19-14. Crowley's Ridge on a 2-0 run. Self receives the set, and Stebleton tries to pass it to her left to Powell, but that goes out of play.
Now serving the libero number 1, Riley Fulton.
Riley Fulton and the Lady Lions looking to push 5. Crowley's Ridge hoping to cut into the 14-20 deficit. Stebleton goes over to Elms. The attack to Dean, and that is in. 21-14. Halverson takes the dig. She'll send it across, and that's going to be out of play.
That was a great job by the Lions to follow it all the way to the line to make sure it's out. Sometimes your brain calculates and tells you that it's going to be out, but the best way to be sure is to put your foot on that line so you don't get burned.
22-15 after the attack goes into the net. Olivia Deckelman readies her service. 22-15. Self with the attack goes across to Jackson. And Crowley's Ridge gets the point as the entire Freed Hardeman bench in exasperation saying that should have been in. Fulton looks to her left to Jackson. That is taken by Halverson. Here's Elms. Elms with the attack finds Fulton. To the left is Donegan. And Donegan splits Powell and Perkins.
Skill number 31, Casey Donegan.
So Donegan gets credit with the kill, 23-16. Allie Humphrey. Serves it, Perkins with a dig. Stebleton looking to her left. Here is Elms, and Elms records the kill.
Number 9, Emmy Elms. Now serving number 6, Hannah Halverson.
Hannah Halverson. The Lady Pioneers down 23-17. She serves over. Fulton gets the dig. Good block there from Conaway. And the attack by Ashlyn Clift finds the floor, and it is set point Freed Hardeman.
Now serving number 11, Bryce Morris.
And Bryce Morris will do the honors for Freed Hardeman. Morris sends it over. Halverson with the dig. Here is Stebleton who free balls it over. The attack there by Walker, and that is point, and that is set. And Freed Hardeman ties things up at one set apiece, 25-17. as the final score of set number 2. So we're knotted at 1 set apiece after Freed Hardeman takes set number 2. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back with some getting you set for the 3rd set as both teams are tied with 1 set apiece. This is Crowley's Ridge College Lady Pioneer Volleyball on the Pioneer Digital Network.
What is dedication?
I am the father of a 9-year-old little girl and a 6-year-old little boy, and I find fatherhood both relentlessly challenging and relentlessly rewarding. My daughter is biological and my son is adopted. I love them both so much, from the morning when you wake up to putting them to bed at night, and every moment in between. It really is so special, and boy, is it exhausting. One thing that I fear about being a parent is the future for my children. I think a parent's job is to protect our children, but also prepare them for the world so they become good, kind human beings. But I'm also hopeful that the future holds a more inclusive and compassionate world for them.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Okay, men. This is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go grocery shopping, cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. No, you won't. Because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. Now go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
This is Sarah Grace Duncan, and you're listening to Crowley's Ridge Volleyball on the Pioneer Digital Network.
Tied 1 set to 1 set. Crowley's Ridge College and Freed Hardeman will head into set number 3. After Freed Hardeman takes the 2nd set, Crowley's Ridge getting the opening set. So what did you see in set number 2 that Crowley's Ridge can clean up on to try and take the lead once more?
There was a little bit of communication issues, a little bit of not coming together as much after plays, but they just kept getting burned on defense and things like that, where the hitter was hitting in weak zones or the passer wasn't quite set when it got there. But I think most of it is Freed cleaned up from game 1 to game 2. In game 1, they were a lot more out of system, which means the setter wasn't in prime setting location to be able to get to all the hitters. And in game 2, Coach Humphrey made sure that they cleaned that up. They got a lot more in system, and it was mainly them pushing CRC to make those errors.
And this will tell you how much they cleaned it up. Freed Hardeman in game number 1, they were hitting 6.1%. In that 2nd set, Freed Hardeman hit 27.8%. So nearly a 20-point percent change. As that kill goes to Freed Hardeman to start off set number 3.
It makes all the difference in the world to get the pass to your setter, because then you have all the options to choose from, and it's much easier to get the point.
Service by Emma Campbell. Here is Deckelman. Deckelman gets a double block across the way. Punched across is Hannah Halverson. Self sets across the net to Donegan. Donegan swings heavy, swings hard, but it goes right to Stebbleton. Heather Conaway's attack is dug out by Emma Campbell. Here's another attack by Donegan, and that goes out of play. Crowley's Ridge knocks it up 1 point to 1 point.
Now for Crowley's Ridge number 1.
Boy, Donegan can get some heat on that kill.
She sure can.
Hannah Powell, the senior from Pickett, Arkansas, the former Mohawk, goes to Self. Self's attack hits the top of the net. Stebleton goes to Conaway. The set by Self goes across to Donegan, and Donegan once more splits the defenders. Donegan, that is her 8th kill of the night.
Now serving the libero number 1, Riley Fulton.
Riley Fulton, 5'9" senior from Franklin, Tennessee, just north of Nashville. Conaway mistimes, Halverson rather, mistimes her jump. It is 3-1, Freed Hardeman. Fulton knuckleballs it across the net. Beautiful set there. Beautiful, even more reception by Freed Hardeman, keeping that in play after it just nearly touched the ground. Fulton goes to a left to Donegan. Donegan gets the set. Donegan gets the kill.
That's why you never give up on the ball. You may not think you'll be able to get there, but you have to throw your body down and put your arm out, and if you're lucky, you'll get the spin.
Crowley's Ridge falling behind 4-1. Sarah Grace Duncan, her attack dug out by the Lady Lions. Here's Donegan once more, and she takes something off that one. Here is Deckelman. Attack goes back to Dean. Dug out by a diving Powell. Duncan sends it back across. Self sets that kind of jousts at the net. Here is Deckelman's attack. Deckelman's attack taken by Campbell. Attack there from Dean. Dug out by Stapleton. Long rally here. Perkins sends it over. The attack here from Donegan, and that's going to be attempted block by Sarah Grace Duncan and Olivia Deckelman. But that goes out of play, and so Casey Donegan gets her 10th kill of the night. Retying her shoe is Annalise Jackson. Stapleton sets to Halverson, and that is blocked back by Shay Dean, the 6'1" senior. Speaking of 6'1", that is the score, Freed Hardeman. And that is going to be a Crowley's Ridge point after the Lady Lions find themselves in the net.
You know, early in the game, you know, it's more acceptable to have all those net violations, but as the game goes, you know, coaches get more and more, you know, upset about it. And sometimes you have to make sure you're giving yourself enough space not to keep making that mistake.
Donegan's attack is blocked by Elms and Deckelman. And it will translate to a point after Self's attack goes into the net. Caitlin Perkins will serve it over. Self sends it back. The attack by Dean, and that finds the hardwood. It is a Freed Hardeman point, 7-3.
Now serving number 14, Allie Humphrey.
Allie Humphrey moves back to serve. Back set goes to Deckelman. There's Fulton, sets across the court to find Clift. Elms attacks. Stapleton with a diving save there. Perkins will overpass it, and that goes out of play. It is an 8-3 advantage for the guests. Attack serve grazes the net. Here's Deckelman. Deckelman's attack taken, and she will get the bump set. Here's Elms. Elms' attack is then dug out once more by Allie Humphrey. Correction, that was Emma Campbell, but the attack once more goes into the net.
Now serving number 4, Olivia Deckelman.
So Olivia Deckelman will serve. Lady Pioneers down 8-4. Humphrey sets to her left to Clift. Stapleton bumps to the left. Here's Perkins will free it over. Humphrey sets right above herself to Jackson. And that's going to go off the fingertips of the Lady Pioneers.
Now serving number 11, Bryce Morris.
Bryce Morris, Freed Hardeman Lady Lions, 9-4 lead in a set number 3 in which both teams have taken one set. And the block from Ann-Elise Jackson makes it a 10-4 advantage for Freed Hardeman. Caitlin Perkins with the dig. Here's Halverson. Beautiful diving save there from Allie Humphrey. Here's Elms. Fulton with the dig. To Walker's attack. Another diving reception. And then lifting. Trying to keep it back in play is Halverson.
Yeah, it was just a little too far above her head, so she jumped, and when you push it from that far back, you're doing a lifting motion, and it just didn't work out for her.
Morris continuing to serve. Here's Halverson, and Halverson flicks it to the left side. Humphrey bump sets to find Walker, and Walker gets the kill. It is now 12-4, and Coach Wynn wants to talk things over as the Lady Pioneers are now trailing 12-4. This is Crowley's Ridge College Lady Pioneer Volleyball on the Pioneer Digital Network.
I'm Surgeon General Jerome Adams. If you've recovered from COVID-19 confirmed by a positive test, you're in a special position to help us fight the virus. Your plasma has antibodies that may help others fight COVID. So please donate plasma now. You can literally help save lives. There are locations across the country that have safe ways for you to donate. Find a site to donate your plasma at coronavirus.gov.
Produced by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services at taxpayer expense.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Caitlin Stapleton. You're listening to Crowley's Ridge Volleyball on the Pioneer Digital Network.
Crowley's Ridge in a bit of a hole to start the third set. Down 12-4. The attack from Freed Hardeman finds Caitlin Perkins. Stapleton sets Elms, and Elms smashes it down. However, it is too far to the left. How frustrating is that to have a beautiful attack, but it just misses out of bounds?
It's very frustrating because you know what you're capable of and you know where you want it to go, but sometimes when you're swinging so hard like Elms does, sometimes you accidentally over-rotate, and that's what pushes it right out of bounds.
Freed Hardeman's attack just finds its way inside, and it is now a 10-point lead for Freed Hardeman. 14-4. That attack goes, service goes into the net. Good recovery by Halverson to go from a down recovery to an up recovery. And that block is just out of play. Good attempt there from Crowley's Ridge. However, it is for naught, as it is now 15-4. Humphrey will push it across. Hannah Powell keeps it in play. Here is Deckelman. Deckelman's attack, that is in the net. A good sliding dig by Humphrey. And the attack, or the pass, goes out of the reach of the Lady Lions, and it's back to a 10-point deficit.
That's the second time Humphrey has had very great body and spatial awareness. She's gotten very close to the net, and both times she's pulled her body back to make sure she's not going under and endangering anyone or the points, really.
Another kill there from the Lady Lions, this time by Claire Walker. And it is once more an 11-point deficit for Crowley's Ridge. 16-5. And the roster that we had did not have a number 12, but she is now serving.
Boy Pioneer.
That point is going to go to Crowley's Ridge, and there is no 12 on the roster. As we're looking at our statistician, they don't have a number 12 either.
Sometimes you end up wearing a different jersey, and so it doesn't match up, and sometimes there's some reserve players.
And that's what we're double checking everything. The scorers table does not have a 12 on the roster. That's all three. The public address announcer, Austin Schweihart, does not have a number 12. Of course, he's showing him the what we had. And it looks as if the roster that was given to the scorers table did not have a 12 as well. And over on the stat side, keeping the book is the important one. So, our public address announcer cannot have 12. The stat computer cannot have 12. But if the book has 12, then it goes through. However, it appears as though the book does not have a number 12 either. And so everybody looking through to find out if that went through. And still trying to, apparently everybody is all squared away. So somebody must just be wearing a different number, because on Freed Hardeman's website there is not a number 12.
Yeah, that typically happens. Most of the time when you can't find that number, she's just wearing a different jersey and they haven't changed it, because it looks like they were pointing at a name on the roster, so she's just probably wearing a different number.
So in any case, Freed Hardeman has a 16-7 lead. Humphrey will set to Walker, and Walker will get the kill.
Now serving number 6, Emma Self.
(17-7). Taco's over. And that will hit the antenna.
Yeah, that was a bit of a miscommunication by the Lions. A lot of players were looking at the ball, but no one quite called it early enough, and so it wasn't a clean pass.
17-8, Stubbleton sends it over. Here's an attack by Walker. And that goes out of bounds. It is a Crowley's Ridge point. Stubbleton serves across. That's dug out by Morris. Here's an attack by Shea Dean. Perkins bumps it to Conaway, and Conaway gets it sent right back into her face by Shea Dean. So Freed Hardeman really cleaning things up after that first set. It's now 18-9 rather. Emma Campbell serving across. Here's a fling across the court by Conaway. The attack by Donegan, and that's going to find the floor. Service coming from Campbell. Stubbleton across to Deckelman. Dug out there by Campbell. Stubbleton free balls it, trying to find an open hole. A good attempt there by Emma Campbell. However, Crowley's Ridge gets the point.
Now some for Crowley's Ridge number 1, Hannah Powell.
19-10. Crowley's Ridge hoping to cut into a deficit. Hannah Powell serves over the net, taken by Fulton. Self. Big block there from Halverson. Attack by Donegan. And that's going to go out of play. It is a Pioneer point. Donegan takes something off of that, and you could tell. Had call baseball terms, that's a changeup.
Yes.
Is that important for hitters to be able to do that, to have a hard hit and a soft hit?
Yes, it's very important. You have to have, diverse options because most of the time the other team will get used to one option. And if they're digging it and blocking it, you have to change it up, make it shorter, put it in different areas, put it in weak zones so that they're always on their toes and they don't know what you're going to do next.
So miscommunication gives service back to Crowley's Ridge. Going across the net. Sending it back over is Halverson. Here is Donegan. Donegan does not take anything off of that. However, it is blocked by Emmy Elms and Olivia Deckelman. All right, so wearing number 12 is freshman Emma Lawson. So on DAC stats, she is normally wearing number 9, but tonight Emma Lawson is wearing number 12, so that cleared that up. And that is an ace from Caitlin Perkins.
That was a good serve by Perkins. Those deep serves are really hard to handle because they come at a weird spot in your body. So you know it's going to be in the court, but it's hitting you where you can't quite pass it and you can't quite set it.
And right there, Shay Dean, the 6'1 senior from Jackson, Tennessee, finds a wide open spot of floor. It's now 21-15. Allie Humphrey jumps and serves. Elms with the attack, but puts too much on that, and that goes out of play. Service from Humphrey. Powell gets the dig. Stapleton back sets to Deckelman, and Deckelman gets the kill there. That almost looked like she missed. She didn't get all of it that she wanted, but it still worked out in her favor.
Yeah, sometimes you get a weird position on your hand and it just kind of bounces strangely, but it's nice when it pays off.
And Donegan gets the attack, but goes right at Coach Wynn. A little protection there. 22-17. Crowley's Ridge trying to cut in. Slowly but surely clambering back. Huge kill off the overpass by Emmy Elms. Mercy.
That's why you got to be ready. You can get points like that.
22-18. Service by Deckelman. There's an attack from Clift. Here's Perkins will free it over. Humphrey passes to her left, and that is going to be sent over there near the Lady Pioneer basketball locker room for a Freed Hardeman point.
Now serving for Freed Hardeman, number 11, Bryce Morris.
So Bryce Morris will go back to serve, 2 points away from taking set 3. Deckelman from her knees takes the serve. Fulton goes to the right side, taken by Powell. Here's Elms. Elms gets a swing on it, blocked back. Perkins sends it back across. Humphrey sets to her left to Walker. And here's a punch over by Halverson. Crossing the net. An overpass is a joust. Freed Hardeman gets it. Cleaning up now. Here's Halverson's attack. Halverson gets a big kill. 23-19. Back in the net, another good dig out there by Humphrey. Elms with the attack, and Elms hits that one too hard once more, but the referee's unsure. The referee's trying to see if that went off the fingertip, but neither line judge apparently was watching. And just gives the point to Freed Hardeman, as that was out of play. It is set point, Freed Hardeman. Conaway's attack goes down. Freed Hardeman kind of falling on top of each other. Here's Stebleton, sets Elms. Elms attack, and that hits the ground. 24-20. Emmy Elms will serve for Crowley's Ridge. The back set goes, and a big kill there from Ashlyn Clift will end the set 25-20. Freed Hardeman, after dropping the opening set, have taken the next two. And it is after a 25-20 set number 3. Crowley's Ridge will head into the 4th set with a win, or, well, I guess it's stay home set. Crowley's Ridge College now trailing in the match 2-1. This is Crowley's Ridge College Lady Pioneer Volleyball on the Pioneer Digital Network.
If you're worried your friend may be struggling, remember, you don't have to be there to be there.
You can say how are you or get a fake tattoo. You can ask with an app if it works for you. You can write them a text or knit them a sweater. If you can't be together, you can write them a letter.
Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking.
You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You can ask on your couch while you binge watch. However you do it, you gotta ask a friend. And if they don't share, you can ask again.
Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheopera.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and the JED Foundation.
Para mucha gente del país, tener un día de tranquilidad con la familia es difícil.
Neil Armstrong waited 6 hours and 39 minutes to step onto the surface of the moon. Jackie Robinson waited 20 months to play his first game with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And even DiCaprio had to wait 22 years to win an Oscar. You can wait until your destination. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Okay, kids, Dad's gonna teach you how to dance. First, spread your feet apart. Then, pump your knee, nod your head, shake your hips, and bite your lip ever so slightly. Now, with one hand in the air, point at people with the other hand. I call that the rock star.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now, make a face like it just smells something bad.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This is Hannah Jean Halverson. You're listening to Crowley's Ridge Volleyball on the Pioneer Digital Network.
So Crowley's Ridge takes the opening set by a score of 25-23. But Freed Hardeman coming back, winning set number 2, 25-17, and winning set number 3, 25-20. Crowley's Ridge did have a really nice comeback there. Trailing by as many as 11 points, but ending up only losing the set by 5. How important is it to never give up on those sets, even when you're down by 11 points?
Oh, it's vital. No set is ever completely done until the whistle blows. Teams have come back from even greater deficits, and so you just have to push and give it your all, and you can come back from any score.
It was good to see that the Lady Pioneers not willing to give up, even down by 11. Here is Stebleton to Perkins, back to Deckelman. Deckelman's attack, dug out by Dean. Here's the attack by Donegan. And that is the second time that the up ref has overruled the line judge. And that happens.
It does. It's not an easy job, and sometimes it's in a split second, and you think your brain tells you one thing, but it just happened to be the other.
I've been the line judge once, and I was not very good at it.
It's a lot of responsibility.
I should stick to just broadcasting. There's a reason I don't play sports and just talk about them. Stebleton will set to her left, and that's in the net. Frieda Hardeman jumps ahead to a 3-0 lead to start set number 4. Potentially a decisive set. Should Frieda Hardeman win the set, they'll win the match. So Crowley's Ridge hoping to force a decisive 5th set. Attack there from Sarah Grace Duncan, and that is blocked. Back by Katie Collier. 6' even senior from Kingston Spring, Tennessee. That was her 13th block. And once more, Frieda Hardeman gets the point. 5-0 to start.
Yeah, this is just a lot of mainly coverage errors. They're not set in their spot. They're not ready to go on their toes, and they just can't get to those really short balls. And some of them have been just some miscommunications as well.
Here is Perkins. Donegan back to get the dig. The set, the attack, the kill. Walker makes it 6-0. So Donegan is right in front of the server. So don't really see a defensive player right in front of the server. Is there a strategic point to that?
Sometimes you can block the other team's view of what's going on. Sometimes it is a lineup thing where you can't cross another player. So, you know, she has to be on this side of that girl. So that girl has to go to the very back corner so she doesn't cross her when she's serving. Yeah, it looks like she's on that side of her. So it's probably just a lineup rotation choice so that she can serve from her desired spot on the floor.
And apparently it works, as Frieda Hardeman has taken the opening 8 points for Crowley's Ridge, has cracked onto the scoreboard. Service by Self. The overpass. The attack there by Sarah Grace Duncan, and she'll break the 8-0 dry spell. Hannah Powell coming in. Hannah Powell jumps, she serves. That's Donegan gets the dig. Set by Self in the net. Crowley's Ridge did get a hand on it, but there is Powell. And that goes just out of her reach. It is 9-10 in favor of the guests. Sarah Grace Duncan sends it. The back set going to Dean, rather that's Collier. Stebleton sets to Halverson. Fulton gets the dig to Donegan. Donegan smacks it. That is out. Just thankfully out of reach of the block.
Number 5, Caitlin Perkins.
That's going to go off of the roof beam. Still in play. Donegan and Self kind of co-dig that out. Self goes to her right. Here is Dean. And the block attempt goes into the net. And it is now 10-2. An 8-point lead once more for the Lady Lions. Service there. Deckelman gets on top of it, and that rolls down the net and goes in play.
Now serving number 4, Olivia Deckelman.
Deckelman serves it. That is pancaked up. Well, the referee said that she was not able to get a hold of it. It would have been a Crowley's Ridge point nonetheless, but it is recorded as a service ace for Olivia Deckelman. Deckelman serves that, graces the top of the net. Fighting for it is Crowley's Ridge. Going across is Deckelman. Service there goes to Dean. Floating set there to Donegan. Donegan's attack. A lot of spin on it. Good move by Perkins. Here's Elms. Elms attack. The dig. The attack from Freed Hardeman. Stebleton sets back to Deckelman. Deckelman's attack, and that will fall in play.
Number 4, Olivia Deckelman.
And Coach Humphrey wanting to see, thinking that something was amiss. Did you see anything?
Just that the play wasn't very clean. The beginning of that play was what we call jungle ball, which is where people are kind of frantic and throwing arms out, and you get lucky that it bounces your way. But thankfully the teams, cleaned it up as the play went, but maybe he thought something wasn't a clean play.
And that will hit the top of the net from Freed Hardeman, and it falls in play. It's one of those lucky bounces. You get in just about every single sport has lucky bounces. Volleyball is not exempt from that. It is 11-5. Freed Hardeman in the lead in the fourth set. Freed Hardeman with a victory could win the match. Crowley's Ridge hoping to force a decisive 1st to 15, set 5. Kill there from Emmy Elms, and she'll get her 9th kill.
Number 6, Hannah Halverson.
Halverson will serve that into the net. (12-6) lead for Freed Hardeman. Bryce Fulton serving left to right. Stapleton goes to her back to Elms. The dig goes across the net. Here is Conaway. And a block by Ann-Elise Jackson. And it is 13-6, Freed Hardeman's lead. Here's Elms with the attack, and that's going to go off the fingertips of the Lady Lions. It is Crowley's Ridge point. Elms into double-digit kills, 13-7 Crowley's Ridge, hoping to fight their way back once more after opening the set on an 8-0 deficit. Walker to Stebleton, and Humphrey's attack goes off the wrong side of the arm, and it is a Crowley's Ridge point. Elms with the Lady Pioneers down 13-8. Going over, a big kill there from Claire Walker. 5'8" senior out of Flintville, Tennessee, gets a kill.
Now serving number 15, Ann-Elise Jackson.
Ann-Elise Jackson. Serving across. Halverson thought about taking it with the hands up, instead goes down, and that's out of play. Freed Hardeman with the point. Now 10 points away from closing the match. And that serve's going into the net. (15-9), Stebleton with the serve. Humphrey will set behind her, and the attack by Clift was out of play. However, Crowley's Ridge was in the net. So both squads would hope that their next match would be cleaned up a little bit. Both teams being whistled for several, especially net violations.
Yeah, it's been an extra amount of net violations this game.
As the kill there from Sarah Grace Duncan.
Now serving the Pioneers number 1, Hannah Powell.
Hannah Powell will serve for Crowley's Ridge. Lady Pioneers trailing by 6. It is 16-10. Powell's service goes across. Here's the set from Self. And that's going to find the floor. Freed Hardeman getting the point, 17-10.
One of the main things that the Pioneer blockers are struggling with is they're not sealing the net, which means that they're allowing space between their hands and the top of the net, and that's why it's bouncing down their body, leaving that hole for it to go down.
And I would imagine that something to do with that is the number of net violations they've received.
Yeah, sometimes you try to pull back, or sometimes your hands keep getting caught in the net, and so you raise them, kind of behind your head, and that's why it bounces and goes straight down your body, because you're not pressing to the net and closing that space.
Sarah Grace Duncan's attack goes too far, and it looks as though Coach Wynn has seen all that she wants to in this start, as Freed Hardeman takes their largest lead of the set by 9. It is currently 19-10. We'll take a timeout as well. Crowley's Ridge hoping to fight back. This is Crowley's Ridge College Lady Pioneer Volleyball on the Pioneer Digital Network.
If you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music,
this is Mommy's jam.
then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Watch out! You got me!
The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
This is Coach Wynn. This is Coach Harden. You're listening to Crowley's Ridge Volleyball on Pioneer Digital Network.
Emma Campbell gets the ace there. Coming out of the timeout is a 10-point lead for Freed Hardeman. Stebleton sets right in front of Olivia Deckelman, and Deckelman gets the kill.
Number 4, Olivia Deckelman. Now serving the libero, number 5, Caitlin Perkins.
So Caitlin Perkins will now step to the service line. Attack there, and that's going to be out of bounds. Crowley's Ridge getting another point. Service by Perkins. That's taken by Donegan. The set going to Collier, and that finds the floor. 21-12. Freed Hardeman 4 points away from taking the match. Crowley's Ridge, though, has showed fight in the third set, hoping to do so once more. Set going back to Deckelman. And Freed Hardeman having communication errors. Crowley's Ridge getting the point. That is their 13th. Donegan winds up for the attack, and the reception by Hannah Powell goes right to the Crowley's Ridge net.
Now serving number 14, Allie Humphrey.
So that'll put Allie Humphrey to the service line. That attack, beautiful pancake there from Riley Fulton.
Hannah Halverson.
Jumping up there. Sending over Conaway. Set by Stebleton, goes to Elms. Elms, big attack. And that goes right in front of the net.
Emmy Elms is on tonight, and she's showing why she's the AII Player of the Week.
He's wanting a second bid. kill there from Freed Hardeman.
Now serving number 11, Bryce Morris.
Bryce Morris. Set there by Elms. Attack. Crowley's Ridge thinking it was out of play. It is now match point for Freed Hardeman. Set there goes to Conaway. Fulton gets the dig. Going over. Here's the attack. Stevelton will set Elms. Elms attack goes into the net. And that will be set. That will be a point. That will be set. And that will be match. Crowley's Ridge College falls to the Freed Hardeman University Lady Lions by a final score of 3-1. Crowley's Ridge College will drop to 1-8 on the season. Freed Hardeman remains a perfect 6-0. Again, at the telling of the final score, Freed Hardeman defeats Crowley's Ridge College 3-1. The first set, Freed Hardeman dropped 25-23. Special thank you to Zori Chipman as he steps by. He was your scoreboard operator over there on the broadcast. Been doing it all season, doing a great job at it. 25-23, Crowley's Ridge took the opening set. 25-17, 25-20, and 25-15 did Freed Hardeman score on the remaining 3 sets. We'll take one more time out, finish things up, and get you set for the final time. But again, Crowley's Ridge drops 3-1. This is Crowley's Ridge College Lady Pioneer Volleyball on the Pioneer Digital Network.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Can I touch this? Where does sand come from? Is this trick good for climbing? What happens if I mix these two things together? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Storing your guns securely is the best way to prevent family fire, including unintentional shootings. For more information on safe gun storage and ways to keep your family safe, visit endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org.
What do we keep in the attic? What's this thing called? Can I ride my bike backwards?
Like I said, kids are curious. It's up to us to keep them safe. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
This is Olivia Deckelman. You're listening to Crowley's Ridge Volleyball on the Pioneer Digital Network.
And welcome back to the final time to the Carter Activity Center as Freed Hardeman defeats the Crowley's Ridge College Lady Pioneers. Final score of 3-1. Again, those set scores, Crowley's Ridge took the opening set 25-23, and then Freed Hardeman took the final 3 sets 25-17, 25-20, and 25-15. Ending the game, Freed Hardeman had 57 kills to Crowley's Ridge's 21. Freed Hardeman with a 19.2% attack percentage. Crowley's Ridge 1.4% from the attacking. 2 sets for Crowley's Ridge were in the negative. That is, they had more errors on the attack than they did kills, and so that's how you figure out those percentages of kills to errors. So Freed Hardeman had, let me see their totals. Freed Hardeman ended the night with 28 kills to 57 kills to 28 errors, which led to a total percentage of 19.2. Crowley's Ridge had 31 kills to 29 errors, so 1.4. So Crowley's Ridge, how do you clean that up getting ready for the next match?
Their attack errors, it just takes a lot of communication. It takes a lot of making sure you go back to the fundamentals. If you're not getting a good pass, you can't have a good set. If you're not getting a good set, you can't have a good kill. Sometimes it's just not timing it right, that the set may be low and the hitter isn't there in time, or all of these factors. But you really just have to go back to basics, make sure that every step the ball is clean. Every step the ball is getting better is what your goal is. And so next time they just have to make sure to not make personal errors, and that way they can get more kills in the positive range.
That was about the only major differential. The other statistics pretty close. 60 digs for Crowley's Ridge, 75 for Freed Hardeman, and 3 aces for both teams. 12 blocks for the Lady Lions, 10 solo, 4 assists. Crowley's Ridge with 8 total blocks, 6 solo, and 4 assists. Crowley's Ridge was led offensively by Emmy Elms, 11 kills. Just behind her was Olivia Deckelman with 8, and Sarah Grace Duncan wearing her having the same number of kills as the number on the front of her jersey. That is 7. So Freed Hardeman improves to 6-0 on the year. Crowley's Ridge will drop to 1-8. Crowley's Ridge will hope to improve things by their next match. And that match will be a week from today. And that will be Tuesday, October 20th, for the Battle of Highway 412, as Williams Baptist University will travel exactly 20 miles from Walnut Ridge eastward to the Carter Activity Center. That first set, mark your calendars. We've been playing. The previous 3 matches have been at 6 p.m. The set against Williams Baptist will be at 7 p.m. And so, you're welcome to be here an hour early. We won't have the live stream up and running by then, but you're welcome to be ready for that. But that match, again, 7 o'clock a week from today, Tuesday, October 20th, as the Lady Pioneers host Williams Baptist University. Any final parting thoughts, Miss Olivia?
With any loss, you just have to take what you've learned and move on. You can't dwell on, what went wrong. You have to take it, accept it, and then move on and work toward your new goal. And every day in practice, whatever you put out there is what you're going to see in games. And so it just takes, keeping that fight, keeping that push through the very end of the game, not just at the beginning. And I think that the Lady Pioneers have everything they need to get these wins. It's just, putting it all together and getting better every day.
So Crowley's Ridge College will hope to improve